What I just said didn't sound interesting.
Brunch.
Hit it, boys! Today's the day. History. Rob Santana is at it again.
Yes, you broke this news to me before the podcast recording, and it's big news.
Today's the day it comes out, and we should get it out there. This is a earlier taped episode than usual. Pete is on the road for work, so we figured rather than half-assing some long-distance things or whatever, let's
We planned something.
Yeah, let's do proper reps.
Couldn't be us, except now it is.
And so I guess the news that this single is coming out is kind of old news, but today would officially be the day that it comes out, and it's being billed as like the long-awaited follow-up. And I gotta say, the phrasing "long-awaited" is correct, because I didn't know until I saw that like my body has been waiting for this.
Yeah, but I don't think that I've ever listened to a song and been like, "Ooh, I can't wait for the sequel."
Oh, then you haven't listened to Vineyard Nights.
Well, I am awaiting
right.
the sequel for Vineyard Nights.
No, but I mean, if you listen to Vineyard Nights, if you're like, man, I'd love Vineyard Nights too, just hang on a second. There's maybe a half a second between tracks, and then the next one's going to come.
Go.
Then right after that,
The trilogy.
you're going to get a third one. But Rob Thomas and Carlos Santana back at it again feels kind of random, but just given that it's been so long.
Yeah, and
1999.
I wouldn't say that either one of them is at the top of their game at this juncture, but oh boy, I'm still excited for it.
Yeah, what
because
has Santana
especially
been doing
because
recently?
I don't know. I think that he did an album. Oh no, that was
John Mayer.
Slash. I think Slash did an album where he had a ton of features.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see why that wouldn't be as famous and successful as a Santana thing.
Maybe he just wasn't as good.
Maybe. I mean, I'd have to look. Let's look up
Santana had
see who was writing those songs. It seemed like there were some real hit makers making those songs. Supernatural Santana. Because those
he got a who's who of features back at his height.
Right. So Supernatural had Dave Matthews and Carter Buford. Carter Buford is Dave Matthews' drummer, and good for Carter for getting the feature in the
seriously.
name. Because a lot of times if a drummer's on there, who else gets that? Travis Barker, that's it?
That's about it.
But Carter
Or
Buford...
Father John Misty.
Featuring. But is he featured on anything? I don't know.
I don't know.
Songs should have Misty on the hook.
Yeah.
Imagine doing having a cool song and then you bring in Misty for the hook to bring everything down? Just bum everyone out?
Has he ever been featured?
I don't think so.
I do know that he wrote the Khalid song.
Yeah. Heaven?
Yeah.
And it led to the most depressing thing about that song was the fact that Khalid was like, it's so exciting to have him write one of my songs I grew up listening to.
Yeah, I know.
Father John Misty feature. He was featured in the film 2017 film Hotel Artemis. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything, but
wow.
I could be wrong. But you would think that he'd be on some...
but he was featured in a Lana Del Rey music video.
That's right. Freak Like Me.
Yeah.
No, not Freak Like Me. Yeah, Freak Like Me. Is that? No, I think it's just Freak. Freak Like Me is the Adina Howard
which was referenced
song.
in last week's episode.
Referenced in this week's Friday episode because we just taped the Friday episode before this. We taped the Dawson's Creek Patreon episode to give ourselves some momentum to push into the big one.
Because if there's anything that gets us
the creek right now.
If there's anything that gets us going downhill right now and with a full head of steam, it's Dawson's Creek.
Oh my God. Father John Misty did he played drums, I think, on Ain't Together by King Princess. Let's look this up. Ain't Together, King Princess. I think that was a big deal. Father John Misty. Yes. King Princess enlists Father John Misty for a new song, Ain't Together, which is a great tune, by the way. But Santana on Supernatural had Dave Matthews and Carter Buford, Everlast on track number 3, Put Your Lights On, which is a great, great song. Smooth featuring Rob Thomas. Do You Like the Way featuring Lauryn Hill and I think yet to be big, CeeLo Green.
Okay.
That might go in the book. CeeLo Green is on Supernatural. Because when did we really first start thinking about CeeLo? 2003?
Gnarls Barkley.
Yeah. And
Gnarls Barkley was like later.
Is it later than 2003?
I think so. I would guess like 2006.
That might be. I think you're closer to it. Crazy by Gnarls Barkley came out in 2006.
Bam!
Nailed it. Pete, famously a music guy. Maria has, Wyclef Jean is in there. And there's the Product G&B. Who else? Eagle Eye Cherry is on the song Wishing It Was. And, the final song, I'd forgotten this. Final song of Supernatural by Santana features another beloved guitarist.
Whomst?
Beloved guitarists. I mean, how many beloved guitarists are there? We just talked about
John
Slash,
Mayer.
It's not him. John Mayer wasn't alive yet.
Eric Clapton.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're very close with John Mayer. Just say John Mayer, but use different words. The Calling, featuring Eric Clapton. But that was such a great album. And his follow-up then, I think the follow-up was, he put out 2 greatest hits albums before he put out his next one. That is ballsy. But he had Michelle Branch,
Right.
Game of Love. He had
That song
Seal on a
rocks.
tune. That's a
Game
great
of
song.
Love, written by
Greg Alexander.
Oh, that should go in the brunch book.
Oh, definitely. Let me add it to the note.
Brunch fun fact book is in the works.
In the works.
In the works, and very excited about it. And we're building it out.
Yes. So the goal is, I think it's smart to start selling something that hasn't even begun to be made. But
Yeah,
the
you
goal
can
is you can get it
pre-order.
for Christmas.
You can pre-order the pre-order.
The goal is have it so y'all can get it for Christmas. This Friday, you're gonna get that Dawson's Creek episode that we
That's
just
right.
recorded. And as always, we were just beaming and having a great time the entire time. Giving Pacey a little bit of a rough time, but he's finding his way. Pacey's figuring it out.
Yeah,
But
I
you
am
just
so
gotta-
in on Dawson's Creek.
Oh, so much.
But that's for Friday. On
Yeah.
this episode, we are talking about something else that we loved.
Yo.
And I'm somewhat surprised that we both liked it as much as we did, because neither one of us had any idea what it was going into it. We saw the movie Pig, starring Nicolas Cage, saw that it got pretty good reviews, but was more just intrigued at what it was.
I didn't even know that it got good reviews.
Really?
It has it's like 96 on Rotten Tomatoes or
Yeah.
something.
I knew that I didn't know that it was doing that well. I
Yeah.
knew that I had tweeted out about like Suicide Squad and like some other movie, and they're like, "Have you seen Pig yet? You got to go see it."
Oh,
And somebody
okay.
had suggested it to us. One of the listeners of the podcast suggested, like, please go see Pig. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
So this will answer a question that I asked in the Friday episode. We pick season 5 episode, and I couldn't remember why we chose season 5. We always come up with some little thing to choose the episode, and again, as usual on Patreon, y'all go crazy with picking the number. But the reason we picked 5 is because we saw Pig and both loved it, and you on your Instagram I saw a movie thing gave it a 5 out of 5, which I agree with.
Yeah.
So
It's my first 5 out of 5 of 2021.
Whoa.
I haven't seen all that many movies. I've seen like maybe like a dozen, and this week was probably the first 2 over 4 out of 5 that I gave, because I gave Suicide Squad a 4.5 out of 5.
I like that.
And then Pig 5 out of 5.
Okay, so I didn't know I told you going into Pig, I didn't know anything about it. All I knew was the poster, which is Nicolas Cage got some stuff going on in his face, and it's called Pig. And I just I didn't know if people, I knew that there was like a buzz about it, but I didn't know what it was. If
Yes,
people loved it, if
same.
people thought it was like weird. I was like, is it like a Mandy type
I was
of
just
thing?
gonna say I like sort of approached it in the same way that I did Mandy, where I was like, people are talking about this. I assume that it's a bit weird because Nicolas Cage is in
Exactly.
it, so we'll see what it's about. I didn't realize, or I didn't expect to just outright love the movie.
Dude, I was stunned because when I texted some friends after saying, hey, if you haven't seen Pig, you got to see it. This is an excellent movie. They all responded with the same thing, which is like, Cage the goat. Am I right? And I was like, no. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that big of a Nicolas Cage fan. Or, like, I don't think he's...
There's always intrigue, but it's never like,
Right.
gotta see this because Nicolas Cage is in it. And I saw a lot of people saying, after I tweeted out that I loved Pig, a lot of people were saying, like, Nicolas Cage has had his hits, but I haven't seen him good in anything recently. And I disagreed with that. I mean, like, the last two things that I've seen him in, Mandy and Pig,
Yeah.
I both really enjoyed. And I thought that he was really good in Mandy. I thought that he was really... I don't know if really good is overselling it. I think that I liked the movie more than I liked his performance in Pig.
In Pig? All right, so I didn't like Mandy.
Really?
And,
Okay.
I didn't like Mandy. I definitely thought, though, and I thought this like 45 minutes into this movie. I was like, oh, this is Nicolas Cage's best movie.
You think
I
so?
haven't seen all of Nicolas Cage's movies. Love Face Off.
Well, like Con Air.
Yeah, I think that... I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch those again. I know that he's in some classics, but...
So if you don't know what Pig is, it's tough to explain in a way that doesn't sound
so
stupid.
silly.
Yeah.
Right.
It is essentially... It's a movie that centers around cooking and like the cooking world.
Yeah.
But it's like a dark, gritty, sort of revenge movie.
The reason I texted you
If you're doing a recipe for Pig and you're throwing ingredients in, it's like part John Wick, part chef, part
Cold Pursuit.
Taken, or any Liam Neeson revenge movie. Yeah.
So it's got some real Cold Pursuit energy to it, and I have minimal notes. I texted you a couple times because we were trying to figure out there was like some movie theater concern of like, oh shoot, it's not playing as many places as we saw. But like,
I saw it at a movie theater that I'd never been to.
Yeah.
I saw it in Hingham,
Mm-hmm.
and boy, was that like stepping into a time machine because it was like an old style cinema.
Yeah.
It was clean and everything, but it was just like ticket was $5, concessions
Whoa.
were cheap, like. And it had like an old school style like boardwalk cinema. It was
Love
a
that.
very cool spot.
Love that. But when we were figuring it out, like 20 minutes in, you're like, oh, I might have to go to a different theater, blah, blah. And I was like, I was pretty early in the movie. I was like, well, get there.
Yeah.
Like, do what
I'm
you
liking
got
it
to
so
do.
far.
Like, I think I'm really into this. And it's because I was really getting Cold Pursuit vibes off of the jump. Again, like, it's very... Taken was the first thing I thought, like, person who has gotten away from everything, wife is dead, they tell you that right off the jump, has an animal, bad guys come, do something to the animal, he says, all right, that's it. Like, okay, so it's John Wick, but with a pig, and it's really so much more than that. And
it is.
I'm going to have such a hard time describing this movie, again, like, without it sounding silly, because, like, they get really technical with like culinary stuff.
Yeah, and it's a very like emotionally deep movie.
For sure.
And there's a lot more to it than like it's a very tough movie to explain. Like Cold Pursuit is what it is. Like it's a very satirical.
They kill my boy, I kill everybody.
Right, yeah. And this movie, it has a bit more to it. But it is sort of in that vein where it has a little bit of satire. It seems like tongue in cheek at some points. I will say it's only 92 minutes.
I know.
It's 92 minutes, and it's slow moving at points, but I don't feel like there's a lot of fat on it.
No. Let's not spoil this either, because I want our listeners to see the movie and we can keep talking about it. Maybe bring it up in future episodes, but we can at least set the scene. Nicolas Cage plays a recluse in the woods of Oregon, and he is a truffle hunter, and I did not know that was a thing.
Me neither.
I didn't know that at all, and he has a pig, and apparently part of truffle hunting is you have a pig, and there are these, like, it's like a police dog. There's
they sniff them out.
Yeah, I think they're called foraging pigs, or... Yeah, I think foraging pigs. They also refer to this pig as a truffle pig. You just walk around, and it's like a metal detector.
Mhm.
Hey, we got a truffle over here. And they sell them because truffles are a delicacy. Kind of overrated. I've never really experienced truffles and been so blown away.
That I would never like expect there to be like a somewhat black market for truffles.
It really seems like that, right?
Yeah, and I think that's like kind of a thing that I like about this movie too, is that there's nobody in this movie that is not associated with food, at least by like an arm's length. The entire universe that this movie takes place in is centered around food.
Yeah, you mentioned Chef, right?
Yes.
It has very like, if Chef, what's his name in
Jon Favreau?
Yeah, but what's Jon Favreau's name in the movie? Shoot.
Yeah.
Anyway, if I got to know his name.
Yeah.
I just can't go on without it. Chef, let's see. Jon Favreau, Chef Carl Casper.
Yep.
If like things had gotten bad and dark enough for Chef Carl Casper, because we learn that this guy is a former renowned chef, is Nicolas Cage's character, Rob. If things got crazy enough for Carl Casper, maybe he's this recluse who lives alone with his pig, but he still has all this information, and he still knows how to do all this stuff.
Yeah, I could easily see that, because Carl Casper like only cares about, or like doesn't only care about food, but like highly prioritizes food, and he would not take care of himself.
And it's like the scene that he says to when he's talking to his kid Percy, he's like, hey, like, I'm really good at this.
Yeah.
Like this is, and like I love it. Like, this is my thing. One way or another, like this is very much Rob's thing in this movie. And there's this character Amir, who is the son of like the truffle trade head honcho. It has it has like
organized crime vibes.
Exactly, and I can't tell if that's supposed to be a tongue-in-cheek thing or if truffles are really like, is it a regulated thing?
No, like again, I think it goes back to like this movie just takes place in a universe where like food is fucking everything.
Yeah.
And so like within this sort of universe that doesn't actually exist, I don't think. I wouldn't imagine so.
Right.
But if you're envisioning that, you're envisioning like the top guy as being like a mob boss of truffles.
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
Yeah, and there's like, he gets a meeting with this guy, and this guy's like, hey, you don't want to take this any further, okay? You want everything to be okay. You turn around, you walk out of this door. He's trying to pay him off and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, I need to know where this pig is.
Yeah.
Like, you're so invested in it, and it's great. It seems satirical. It's weird, but that's kind of Nicolas Cage.
It's shot very, very well.
Yeah.
It's sort of uses a cheat code. It's shot in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of like atmospheric, like regional landscape shots, and it's just, I think that also helps sort of contain the story.
Yeah.
Where it's like, obviously this food world doesn't exist, but like in the remote Pacific Northwest, it could.
Rob, by the way, Nicolas Cage's character, would get along handsomely with a growing number of celebrities these days because he doesn't touch a thing on his body. He gets beaten up. He's got blood on it. He doesn't even wipe the blood off of his face. He doesn't cut his hair. He doesn't bathe. He doesn't want to do anything. The reference I was making there is we're finding all these celebrities are like,
we don't bathe.
I don't. I personally don't use water.
Yeah.
No.
But I will say, for a movie that's so surrounding the food world, I thought that the cooking scenes lacked a little bit. They weren't on like chef level.
I think they didn't want to make it like that.
They didn't want to make it a cooking movie.
Right. Like they didn't want it to steal the spotlight because there is a scene where he's plating something, and
it was nice, but it wasn't like yeah, it wasn't like. Wasn't chef where like you're completely sucked into the making of the food, and there's only a couple scenes where they do that. I wish that they had done it a little bit more. I wish they'd given you a little bit more, especially with how food centric it is. But it did bother me that he was like fully battered, like blood all over his face, and he was and he's like this renowned chef who he truly cares about his food more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
And he's just like making it while he's covered in blood.
I love the scene where he goes somewhere, again, trying not to spoil stuff, but he goes somewhere, he sees another person in the business, and this guy's got an elephant's memory. He remembers everything, like with food, even though he clearly hasn't really been in the cooking game in so long. And he sees this other chef, and he's like, it's late, they're in this place by themselves, and he's like, do you still make this croissant with this and blah, blah, blah? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, could you please make it for me? And she makes him this dish. And I know that, again, like, this is such a tough movie to describe because what I just said didn't sound interesting, and I was just melting into the movie as I'm watching that.
Yeah, same. There's I think would be a misconception if you haven't seen the movie that like it's a violent movie.
Yeah.
And it seems that way because it's like very gritty, and if you watch the trailer you're like, okay, this is like John Wick. It's not violent.
I need to go back and watch the trailer because I believe I still haven't seen the trailer. I wonder what kind of idea they're presenting.
It sort of seems like a horror movie, violent revenge movie.
Oh, you know what? I did think going in, I was like, I'm pretty sure this might be a scary movie, and I will warn folks, there's one jump scare in this movie.
It's in the trailer too.
It is?
Yeah.
Man. Well, I guess if you're setting up what the movie's about, I guess the jump scare is when they come and they take the pig.
Right.
But that really got me.
There also was there like the one, other than that scene, there's like one violent scene, and it's like a Fight Club sort of deal, and I did not get that.
I didn't get it either.
I thought that was quite unnecessary.
That's where I was afraid that, oh no, this movie's losing me, and it's been so great so far. Like I might not end up understanding this, and I still don't understand everything in the movie, but it still remained grounded enough within its own like walls that I totally believed everything and believed all these characters. And
I think that scene was solely there to kick the shit out of Nicolas Cage and make him look like a disaster for the rest of the movie and establish that he really doesn't care.
Make him a little bloodier.
Yes.
Right. Get him a little more Detective Crashmore type. I really liked the Amir character. I wonder if...
Same, and he's the kid from Old.
No.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Let's see. That was a very like friendly, reassuring. Like, yeah, it sure is, buddy.
I told you, he's like in everything these days.
Oh my God, that so is him. Yes. Yeah. Wow.
He's in everything these days, and he's a great actor. I really really like him.
He's a musician.
Ooh, what's his name?
Alex Wolff.
Okay, yeah.
And it says, let's see, because it says on the right side of his Wikipedia page, it says when he's born and everything, blah 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 blah, and then it says genres. Pop, rock, indie, bubblegum pop.
Wow. I'm interested.
Yeah, he's Nat and Alex Wolff are an American pop rock duo from New York consisting of brothers Nat and Alex Wolff. The siblings are known for their work on the Nickelodeon television show The Naked Brothers Band. Easy, Nickelodeon.
Yeah, right.
Which was created and produced by their mother, actress Polly Draper.
This guy's interesting as hell.
That's a really interesting thing.
I would love to have him on the podcast.
Yeah. Get some answers there. Have you heard of... I started listening to a band called the Lemon Twigs. Did I send you any of their stuff?
Was that the one with the girls? You sent me...
No, Muna. Muna, capital M-U-N-A.
It's actually pronounced Moo.
Moo, nah. They would... if you haven't listened to them, you would quite like them.
Okay.
They're very 80s sounding.
I have not yet.
But the Lemon Twigs, my friend sent me a song. It was just like one of those... it wasn't Jeff who did this, but like just... the classic when a friend like gets you, he's like, hey, there's a specific part in this song that's going to make you freak. And 1,000%, it made me freak. I was crazy about it. I listened to that one song like 300 times before and watched a million performances of it before I listened to anything else by them. And they're really good. They're called the Lemon Twigs, and they're two brothers. And the song that my friend sent me came out in like 2016 when they were legitimately high schoolers. They're like kids. Their band is like their classmates and everything, but they're so great. And I looked them up, and they were both child actors. Like one of them was on Broadway. One of them was in an Ethan Hawke horror movie.
Wow.
It has like they give me, as I say this now, it gives me like real Diane Coffey vibes, where it's like child actor turned like dope ass indie musician.
Was Diane Coffey a child actor?
Yes.
Did not know that.
Yes, he was in the movie Jeepers
Creepers?
Jeepers Creepers.
Wow.
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers. There's an iconic Jeepers Creepers scene. I don't know if it's in the first one or the second one, because
They're on the bus?
I know people loved Jeepers Creepers too.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an iconic Jeepers Creepers scene that involves a kid in a cornfield or something. That sounds like very generic horror movie as I say it, but there's something happens to a kid.
And is that him?
That's Sean. That's a young Sean Fleming.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And
I did not know that.
And then he was on, not to like dox our buddy Diane Coffey here, but he did one of the Nickelodeon shows. He was a voice on
Fairly Odd Parents?
I think so.
Really?
Kim Possible.
Okay.
Kim Possible and Lilo and Stitch, the series. And then he's also a musician.
That's right. Does the intro to this podcast.
Yeah, Wikipedia has added that he then he joined a band called Foxygen, as we all know, where he met the great Jonathan Rado. They all work together. Jonathan Rado, by the way, from Foxygen, produces Lemon Twig stuff, so it's all relative. Anyway, this Alex Wolff character, quite cool. It's always cool when you like come across somebody in one thing and you learn like, oh no, they're just like an impossible human.
Yeah,
they're the best at everything, and they do.
And now he's in every movie, so
yeah.
good for him.
Seems like a cool guy too.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at his Wikipedia picture. He's at the 2019 Toronto International Film Festival, and he just looks like a cool hang. He's got nice hair.
He does. Very
Alexander
curly.
Draper Wolf, American actor, singer, and musician. I would posit, or I would contend that singers are musicians, but Wikipedia wants to pad his stats. Who am I to jump in the way? What else do we got on Pig other than that is indeed the kid from Mold?
I don't know. I thought that it was a I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, I feel like it's a simple movie, but it's also pretty complex.
Totally. I knew that I was going to struggle to break this down. I was like, our Pig conversation could be 5 to 10 minutes of us just saying, like, wasn't it so good? But I think that sometimes, if that's all someone has to say, I think that
I want you to experience it.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to watch it, and I wonder how many people will watch it now that it has this hype. Like, if you hear it and you're like, oh, people love this movie, and then you go watch it and you're like, well, I set the hype too high.
I am a little confused on the timing of it. Like, it's a 2020 film?
Yeah.
So it came
Which
out.
I assume it was it seems like one of those movies that would be a festival release then get a wider release later.
No doubt. Do we know who's the person that plays the dad, by the way? Is he in something?
He's been in a lot of stuff, and I really, really like him.
Adam Arkin.
Is that Alan Arkin? Son?
Could be related to Alan Arkin. Let's see. Yes.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, he was born in Brooklyn, New York, to actor, director, and writer Alan Arkin. But I'm already seeing here, I believe you watched Sons of Anarchy.
I knew that he was in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's also in 8 Simple Rules.
Okay.
What else would I have seen him in?
No, so I'm looking at it right now.
He won a Tony in 91. Way to go, Adam.
Halloween H2O.
Really?
Yeah, and in Hitch.
I didn't see Hitch.
His filmography is not as impressive as I would have imagined, because I've seen him in a lot and I like him in everything. He's got like sort of a menacing sort of personality, but there's also something like sort of comforting about his voice.
He is also one of the 3 actors to portray Dale the Whale Beiderbecke on Monk. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I've never seen an episode of Monk. I'm afraid that like I'd have too much in common with the main character, because I know it's a
Tony
person with a lot
Shalhoub.
of anxiety, right?
Yeah.
That's like his deal.
Yeah.
But there's someone that 3 people play the person. What's that? Maybe it's like old.
That's true. They get very old over the course of the series.
Dale the Whale Biederbeck ages very quickly. He was written by Dick Richards. He was supposed to be Dale the Shark, but Dick Richards was like, I got this. He's a whale, and he ages rapidly. My buddy M. Night just gave me a cool idea. And they're like, and nobody else ages? And he's like, yeah, it's just one person who ages too fast. They're like, so it's the movie Jack with Robin Williams?
That's right. No, it's he ages because he's on the beach, because he's a whale, but he's really a shark.
There you go. One of my friends at the Cape recently, and he posted a picture of a bunch of seals. Isn't it if you see seals, that means they're sharks?
I think so.
Right? Like, man, why do people go to the Cape? I'm not trying to hate on the Cape, but man,
I only go to Cape Side.
seems like only Cape Side guys. Did you see the I don't know if they've officially come out yet because again, we're taping this early, but the leaked image of the Nebraska football jerseys?
I have.
Those things are
They
smoking
are.
hot.
They are a wild time.
They are just red overalls.
Preposterous.
I like the idea of football getting into that, though. I like the idea of American football getting into just printing things on jerseys.
I mean, college football gets so weird with jerseys that this isn't like anything new. Like, I'm not blown away by it, but it is a preposterous idea where they're just designing a uniform to look like overalls. After Big Red, I think, is their mascot.
That's a thing though, where I wonder how it'll look on somebody without the rest of the uniform because it's got the
It's
the
a
red
horrible
overalls
jersey
on
to
a
wear
white
casually.
jersey. Similar to the Celtics did when they did the banner jerseys. It was all part of like a banner looking thing with the shorts and everything. And I actually think that those looked better if you just wore it without the whole ensemble. I did not like the whole banner type of thing they were doing there. But I am for college football getting weird with jerseys. I'd like to see Texas mess around, and I don't know what they. But
Texas is like the Yankees, where it's like they always have the same jerseys.
Classic jerseys, classic jerseys. I wonder how our guy Sam is doing in the NFL. As of this taping, he's getting QB1 snaps for the Colts.
Boy, would I be so happy to see him start some games for the Colts this year.
I mean, sometimes in the NFL, it's all about the weird situation in which you find yourself.
The opportunity.
Like, Gardner Minshew was not supposed to be fast-tracked to be a starting NFL quarterback.
Right.
And I know that right now he's probably not going to be a starting NFL quarterback, but he was like a fine,
He's got enough stock behind him where he could be, like, if another team was looking for an emergency quarterback,
right.
Trade for Gardner Minshew.
The fifth, sixth-round pick that just kind of gets thrown into it. And Colts quarterbacks, man. One of my coworkers said this the other day. He then swore that there was no pun intended, but it is true. Like, they have had terrible luck.
Yep.
With quarterbacks. Which,
sure have.
Not the type of thing.
After Peyton Manning.
Right, I was going to say, like, you would think that'd be a weird thing to say about a team that got, like, 2 generational quarterbacks back to back. But, I mean, I was a big Andrew Luck guy. I love Andrew Luck.
Same.
What do you think he's doing right now?
Probably, like, enjoying his life.
Something with books.
Oh, right? Yeah, he was a big reader.
He read books about cement? Something like that?
About cement?
I think there was a thing where they were like, Andrew Luck, like, this is what Andrew Luck reads. And it was all just, like, informational books.
Really?
Fiction. Let me look this up.
Oh, my gosh.
There was the Andrew Luck book club. Remember that?
Yes, I do remember that. And I remember PMT spoofing it.
That's right. They did the
Wikipedia club.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Andrew Luck books. Now nothing's going to come up, but I thought he did something about cement. Yes. CBSSports.com. How much
Never
of
heard
a
of him.
nerd is Andrew Luck? He likes reading books about concrete. The Colts QB also loves to recite random facts to teammates on road trips. Get your own podcast.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Should we have a foreword by Andrew Luck?
Foreword by I love this idea. Oh, what was the thing? I didn't end up putting it. Did I put it in my notes?
It was that CeeLo Green was on Supernatural.
Yes, love it. Okay. We're getting
right
up there for the number. Yep. CeeLo on.
Wait, I feel like you said that should be on the book.
Yeah.
But then didn't I say something else and you were like, oh, definitely. Or did I say? Oh no, I think I might have said we should put that in the book.
Maybe
so
you're right. Maybe Maybe
I
that's
don't know.
what it was. We'll have to go back and listen to it. Very important detail, but we will get to the bottom of it. Believe you me. Andrew Luck is a superstar quarterback. This was written by Jared Dubin. Do you know him?
Yep.
In December 6, 2016. It's about a 3-minute read.
Okay.
That's still a fun thing when it says the top of an article. Like, you're going to need a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's like 3 minutes. But whenever I see 3-minute read, I do the Michael Scott thing. When the install is loading and it says like 10 minutes remaining. And he's like, oh, okay, so this should take about like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like that's true. I feel like I read at a faster speed than the most regular individuals. So
especially something that's like this.
3 minutes. Yeah,
I'll fly through this. Although for podcast purposes, we're not going to spend like 14 minutes on it. Andrew Luck is a superstar quarterback. Across his 5 seasons, he has shown himself to be among the best players in the NFL at his position. He is also apparently a pretty weird dude. Okay, I'm not getting on Jared here, but. Not how I would have. Not the.
Let your freak flag fly.
Yeah, he's. Oh, I actually
maybe the guy likes cement.
Weird can also be a compliment, so I'm not holding this against Jared. In a story at Bleacher Report, Ty Dunn talked to several of Luck's teammates, friends, and coaches about his strange tics. Some highlights. In college, one of Luck's friends asked Luck what book he was reading. Luck replied that he was reading a book about the history of concrete. The quarterback was an architectural design major at Stanford and found this book, the equivalent of walking into interstate traffic for most of society, downright fascinating. For me, says Marshall Hughes, now the sports director at WATE in Knoxville, Tennessee, that'd be an absolute struggle, punishment. I said, golly, you are a different cat. And then it gets into how Luck plays ping pong with his teammates, and I don't think we necessarily need that. It says he's an architecture nerd. During study halls, Luck didn't thumb through iPhone apps. He drew. One desk over. It just sounds like he was like being a good student.
Yeah, right.
One desk over.
That book about concrete was probably like part of his coursework.
Right. Hughes watched Luck scribble designs at football stadiums. His passion for architecture ran deep. He detailed to Hughes which stadium structures would go where. That is huge. Tom, what's my guy's last name from 500 Days of Summer?
Oh, shoot. What is his last name?
Tom, 500 Days of Summer. Tom Hansen?
Really? Was he in the
Tom
band?
Hansen. Yes.
Band Hansen?
Hansen.
Oh, okay.
But I believe the Hansen, were the Hansen brothers?
The hockey ones? They
N-E-N?
yeah.
Yeah, so he could have been related to them. Equally as destructive.
That's true.
He'll just smash some
plates. Yeah.
Smash some plates. So, that's Pig. And that's Andrew Luck.
And they smell fantastic.